Hello, welcome to another episode here on Captain's Dry Dock, and in the dry dock today is part 4 of my state-of-the-art workshop build. Let's make it real. For those that have only just discovered my build, in the last couple of episodes I covered research and design, demolition and construction of the main structure. So feel free to pop to my channel and check those out. In this episode, we're making the structure watertight and resemble something like a completed building. Well, from the outside at least. At the moment, OSB board is completely exposed to the elements, but before making the facade all nice and pretty, we need to make it watertight with a breathable membrane. This is like wrapping up a huge Christmas present, which is quite fitting, as it feels like Christmas has come early having this workshop finally built. This is now to the OSB board and also overlaps. This makes sure that any water and moisture just slides down the membrane, so not to get through those gaps and into the wood. It's really important to highlight that the skin is breathable, as the exterior panels were going to be added on top later, and having moisture trapped in between the two layers could lead to a whole world of pain later. We took delivery of the windows and doors that were in anthracite grey. At the time of recording, anthracite grey is really popular in the UK right now. It mimics what I think is a very contemporary Germanic style, which I was going for. To supplement the awesome amount of insulation the walls had, these were double glazed, and because I wanted to have as much natural light as I could, the door was also fully glazed as well. Now the test, as these wall panels were cut to my design. This was the first time to see everything fit together. Measure twice, cut once. For something like this, it's best to measure a dozen times, as any mistake could be really costly. These are just slotted into place with a little space to adjust. This is done with these cool airbags that are just pumped up by hand. You slot them in the gap, you pump air into them, they inflate, and then they get bigger. Then you move the window into position, and once happy, plastic shims are slotted into place. For the facade, I chose this composite material. This stuff lasts practically forever as it doesn't rot. Also, it comes in a wood effect as well as different colours. I chose a colour that mirrored my house, which meant I didn't need to paint it at all. And for that matter, I won't have to paint it every single year. To attach these to the workshop, wooden battens were nailed into place, where cladding slots were screwed around the features such as the windows and doors, and it was easy as cutting and slotting them into place. In fact, it was really nice to think that if I changed my mind years from now, I could just give the building a whole facelift myself and pick a different colour and also a different cladding effect. To cut costs, I only had the front cladded. The reason being is that I really needed to keep costs low, and it helped that the sides and back weren't exposed to the elements. For those sides, I opted to just have them covered with OSB board, but these sheets were painted with a really oily dark weatherproofing lacquer to protect them. What's great is that I can change my mind in the future when my financial situation is better, and have it all replaced with the same cladding that I used on the front. The next delivery was really special. It was going to be the rear door, and it needed to be special, as the rear was vulnerable to breaking in, and it was exposed to the rear access road. So this door was a specialised, extra wide steel security door, and it needed to be wide so my motorbike could fit through it. This was installed in the same way as the windows and front door, and boy was it solid. Even our lovely neighbour next door, a retired policeman, recognised how hardcore that door was. The final bit was to make the entire structure completely weatherproof, which of course was the roof. Now I could have gone the old-fashioned way and had the old felt that you see on sheds put on top of it, but I've seen way too many sheds that use the same material and it just gets ripped up by heavy winds and just general wear and tear. Although I have heard that there's many builders that still swear by it, so each to their own. But I was going to use this stuff. It's basically the same material that they make rib boats from, such as the ones you see speeding down rivers scaring the hell out of tourists. It's a dense, durable, thick rubber that can expand and made specifically to withstand a beating. So if it's good enough for high-speed, choppy seawater and harsh weather, then it's certainly good enough for a static structure at the end of my garden during an English winter. This is basically glued into place with a special adhesive and bonds to OSB board. And there we have it, no longer having to worry about the weather. So pretty much in a day and a half, the structure was not only erected, but also weatherproofed. It took more time to clear the site than it did making the damn thing. It's at this stage that I felt that things were almost there. And I couldn't believe that such a good quality structure could be built in such a short space of time. But then again, I didn't think about the amount that was still left to do. Plasterboard, plastering, electrical, decorating, the list was still quite long. But at least I knew that all the big stuff was done. So I really hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, if you like and subscribe if you haven't already done so, I'd super appreciate it. As there's still a few more episodes to go to completely cover the full build of my workshop. In the next episode, we get power and we make it look like a home. Oh yeah, and I'll tell you how I was attacked by the internet because of a skirting board. Anyway, my name's John Child. My workshop is now a wannabe adventure Ridbo, and I'll see you on the next episode. You take care.